Good morning! It's Tuesday, and welcome to another edition of Ano Na Bev, Best Express Views on PHLV Radio. Viewers, subscribers, friends, and family from all over the world, another beautiful day. Looking forward to face the future with confidence. Yes, so on to our Tuesday topic. The greatest preaching campaign the world has ever known. Why? Because it's a global campaign in thousands of languages in more than 240 lands. And to top it off, it's free. This year, Jehovah's Witnesses will launch a global campaign inviting the public to an event they say is the most important event of the year, the memorial of Christ's death, and a special Bible talk. So now with us, spokesperson of Jehovah's Witnesses, Mr. Robert Hendricks from the JW branch in New York. A warm welcome back, Robert.
Thank you, Bev. It's nice to be back, and thanks for having us and to talk about this. It's an important date.
So, Robert, for 2023, what is the global campaign of Jehovah's Witnesses, and when will it start?
Well, on March 11th, we begin to invite all of our neighbors to two special events. One is on April 2nd, which for most congregations around the world, that will be our special talk, which we have every year on different topics that are very relevant to the public. And then 2 days later, April 4th, the day that Jesus gave his life for us, is when we will celebrate the memorial of Christ's death. So two very, very important events. It's just amazing, you brought this out in your open, that as Jehovah's Witnesses, as opposed to most other institutions and pretty much all other churches, we have mobilized our 120,000 congregations, 8.7 million publishers around the world to actually deliver this message. So it is big. You know, when we think of our individual efforts, maybe we'll deliver a few invitations to the best of our ability because that's what we're doing. We're saturating our communities, inviting them to these events. But when you think about our efforts times 8.7 million in 240 lands that you said, it is pretty massive, and it has an effect. It really moves the world.
Wow. So why is the theme of the special presentation titled Facing the Future with Confidence?
I think, when you really come down to it, anybody can answer that question. Anybody can answer that question. Because if you look at the world today, people are less confident today in the future than perhaps ever before in certainly my lifetime. There's one survey, it's called the Edelman Trust Barometer, and it's a global survey, and 24 of the 28 countries in that survey are seeing all-time lows in the number of people who think that their families will be better off in 5 years. In fact, that survey also indicates that there's no institution, church, government, that has both the trust of people from a competent side and an ethical side. In other words, people think that some governments and institutions are competent but not ethical. Others are ethical but not competent. And when you look at the economic situation, when you think about the pandemic that we're still going through, the tail end of this pandemic, when you think about the effect that it's had on the world, when you think about the refugees around the world, I think about our border here in the United States and how many are just clamoring to get in. They're risking their lives to get in, to get a better situation. And countries don't know what to do with refugees. These are global issues that are making people feel like maybe the future is not going to be better than what we have today or the past. And that's very new for people. It perhaps goes back to the days of the Depression when people felt that way globally. And we all have that in common. So this beautiful theme, facing the future with confidence, really helps us to see that we can still have confidence in this world. We still can have hope. We still can believe in something, even in the face of all the problems that we're facing.
Very well said. Is this program for the whole community, and how will this help the community?
All of our programs are for the whole community. Perhaps when people drive by our Kingdom halls or drive by one of our convention locations or assembly halls around the world, They may say, well, that's what they do inside. But really, those are public facilities. We hold public meetings, and we always invite our neighbors to come. So this is public. In fact, it's our perhaps most public event. There are two events during the year that we saturate the community with invitations. In other words, we try to get to every single person in the community. One is the memorial and special talk, these events that we think about as a singular event because they're so close to each other and interrelated, but also our conventions, which are coming up in the summer. And so we are making the effort, but always know that our meetings are open to the public and are always free, and you'll always be welcome to any of them.
And this helps the community. The benefits of these events to the community are, the community are receptive to this, or in the past, what's your observation?
Well, it's very interesting because our memorial, it attracts well over 20 million people worldwide.
Wow.
Now, that means that nearly 3 times the number of Jehovah's Witnesses who are congregants. We have about 8.7 million. We'll have about 22 million perhaps at the memorial, somewhere in that area this year or more. And so the community is very receptive. And it is true that many of the people that come have some level of interest in Jehovah's Witnesses. Perhaps they're studying, perhaps they're relatives. But also there are many people who come who have come for the first time. Last year, I gave the special talk in the high desert in California.
Wow.
And in walked folks who had come for the first time. They just came off the street. They saw the invitation. They came. They were very interested. And I know who they were because they were the only people in the congregation that were not masked. So they were sitting right in front of me, and they stood out because at the time we had we strongly encouraged masking at our meetings. But it was wonderful to see that. And that is very typical in our congregations, where we will have folks just walk in. Somebody perhaps who has driven by the Kingdom Hall 100 times, 1,000 times, they get this invitation to say, let me see what this is all about. And this is a powerful theme for them. Confidence for the future, facing the future with confidence. And so we expect many, perhaps tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, to come to our special talk and memorial who may have never been in a Kingdom Hall before, and we're looking forward to it.
Interesting. Let's pause for a break, and when we return on Ano Na Bev, Mr. Hendricks, spokesperson of Jehovah's Witnesses, will answer on how community members will be invited to attend the most important event of the year.
I'm a professional singer. That's how I support myself and my family. I'm a careful driver. The other car hit me. I ended up picking Richard Harris. Richard Harris is already an institution in Nevada. Dahil kay Richard Harris, tanggal ang worries.
I slipped. I hurt my tailbone. They sent me the bill. Si Richard Harris, siya lang ang tumanggap ng kaso ko. Tutulungan ka niya. Kay Richard Harris, tanggal ang worries.
The Richard Harris Law Firm, just in case.
Sabi ng patients ko, they don't need a colonoscopy because they don't feel anything. But colon cancer is a silent killer. It affects both men and women, mayaman man o mahirap. Have your colon checked.
Mobile Home Health, providing care in the comfort of your own home.
Serving Southern Nevada is our top priority.
And it's our greatest joy to help others stay safe and enjoy a better quality of life at home.
Because health is wealth.
There are children who've never had the experience of being a child. Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care serves underprivileged children.
We are known for exceptional standard in delivering excellent services.
You can be a parent, make an impact on a child's life.
Finding the right dentist could sometimes be a challenge, but Dental Care of Las Vegas is a one-stop shop for oral hygiene.
We treat our patients as family.
Affordable financial arrangements are accepted. Call today, Dental Care of Las Vegas.
And we're back and excited to jump back into the conversation Robert, earlier we talked about your campaign and how it benefits the community. In what way do you plan to engage with the members of the community?
As you know, Bev, we have been reaching out to our community members since the pandemic started through telephone calls, through letter writing, and we're going to continue to do that. But as of September 1, 2022, we also are out knocking on doors. And so that's going to be a primary way we get to people, trying to engage them face-to-face, get to know our community members again. As you know, too, in our major cities and many of our towns around the world, we have what we call cart witnessing, mobile carts that will be announcing this special day and this special talk. And so we'll be, there's a word for Jehovah's Witnesses, it's ubiquitous. We'll be everywhere. And it's good because it gives people an understanding that this is an important event, and we're willing to go to great lengths in order to get them to get interested, understand what the event is all about, bring them if they want, or get them in our Kingdom halls to enjoy the event together with our spiritual family.
Okay. And currently, what resources exist to assist individuals who are facing difficulties? Is there a resource available for people who are struggling?
There is, and you know it well. It's right behind me, jw.org. It's really our portal into everything Jehovah's Witnesses and everything scriptural, all the scriptural principles, the Bible. In part of the site, you can find everything that Jehovah's Witnesses have ever written since 1950. But in the main page of the site, you'll see very topical application of Bible principles. Right now on the homepage is related to the Ukraine war, but also has something about cutting yourself, which is a problem that many teenagers have, and those who have some issues with emotional and mental illness. We also have resources for families, for youth, for young ones, for children. We have thousands of videos, hundreds of thousands of publications on many topics. So if you're suffering in some way, or if you're curious in some way about Bible principles, as we think about even this special event, well, what Jehovah's Witnesses are trying to do by reaching out to the public and by bringing them to these events is to build trust in two ways. One is the universal principles that engender hope. In other words, there are principles that have been part of humanity that work, that if we apply them in our lives, they work. And so we're trying to help people to understand, get back to those bedrock principles, and you'll live a better life. But the second is bring attention to the common refrain of people who have followed Jesus for the last 2 millennia. Thy kingdom come. He told us to pray for that, focusing on the kingdom, applying Bible principles. That's what really these events are all about, and also our website is all about.
And in what ways have you observed this information to be beneficial to others? I guess we touched that question earlier, but on the memorial side.
Sure. What I have seen personally is not only can the application of Bible principles change lives, it can also save lives. I've seen it save marriages. I've seen it save children. I've seen folks who are going on a wrong course, or a course that was headed to disaster, and the application of Bible principles have been life-changing for them. And so that's what we're trying to do. It's not about necessarily becoming a Jehovah's Witness. It's about taking the Bible and understanding its application for today. And the fact of the matter is, our Bible study programs that we have are second to none. And so when somebody is able to engage with us, we focus on the Bible, and the rest comes, because as they believe in this book, its inspiration, its holiness, as far as God's word is concerned, they begin to see how it's relevant to their lives and how it can change their lives for the good.
And it's free.
That's right. It's free. And you would expect Bibles to cost a lot of money when you go to the bookstore or even at church. I can remember somebody that I studied with some years ago, not too long ago, actually. He was in charge of the pre-Cana program at his church, where all those who got married in the church had to go through, him and his wife. They trained them over 8 sessions. And they wanted to give out Bibles at the pre-Cana session, but they couldn't. They had to buy them themselves in order to give them to those who participated. Whereas if you go to a Kingdom Hall today, or if you go to our website, you can download the most scholarly Bible on the planet, or you can have it for yourselves in print form by coming to one of our congregation meetings. And obviously it costs money to make these things, and we'd welcome a donation in a private box if you want to do that, but we're not asking for any money for it. So not only is the meeting free, the resources are free, because Jesus said, you receive free, give free.
Very well said. This special observance of the Jehovah's Witnesses, what is the memorial observation and what is its significance?
That's a great question, because most people probably think about this time of year as being a time to celebrate Jesus' resurrection. Christendom in general has focused on Easter, the Easter celebration, and they typically focus on that on one Sunday per year. And it's a very big day. Some say it's even bigger than Christmas in many churches. But Jesus didn't tell us to focus on his resurrection. Of course, Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. We could not have a king in heaven unless he was resurrected, so we have faith in his resurrection. But here's what Jesus said in Luke 21:19 and 20. He said on that night that he instituted this, what we call the Last Supper, or the memorial of his death. He said, do this in remembrance of me. And the apostles knew. They had just celebrated the Passover with him. He took the same emblems that he had reserved for that special meal, and he basically said, this celebration once a year replaces the Passover. They were all Jews sitting around the table. And so Paul also said the same thing in his revelation from Jesus Christ. He said, Jesus said, keep doing this in remembrance of me as long as you get together. And that is a yearly or annual observance. And why on this day? Because it's the day that he gave his life for us. It's the day that he surrendered his life. And so Jehovah's Witnesses around the world, they calculate that day so that when we're celebrating it, it's the very evening, it's the very day that he's given his life. And that is so important to us, to be able to come together on that day and think back what happened some 2,000 years ago when he was sitting with his apostles. What happened as he was nailed to a stake and tortured for our benefit, and what has been the result? Those meditations on that day and before that day can be life-changing.
Ayan. Truly no greater sacrifice than this. And what will the community learn from this program?
Well, they'll learn about who Jesus Christ is, that he was the Son of Man, a human being. He was put into the womb of Mary. She had him as an infant, but he grew up to be a powerful leader. And for 3.5 years, he preached about the kingdom. And then he died. Jesus died. That's powerful, because that death is what gives God the justice, the justification for being able to forgive our sins and bring this world back to the paradise that he intended at the beginning. And so the basic tenets of the Bible in that hour that you'll spend on that day with us, the basic tenets of the Bible about Jesus, about the gospel, about the new world, will all be discussed. And you'll come away with a good understanding of who he is, what he has done, and what the future holds.
Wow, one of greatest acts of love ever shown. And what are the ways in which community members can locate a nearby venue?
That's a great question, because, again, the website is the resource, a portal into all things Jehovah's Witnesses. If you go to the website, the homepage, just go about halfway down, you'll see Find a Meeting, and you'll find where the local memorial is in your area, no matter what city or town you're in throughout the world. And you can also just click there and get a visit if you'd like, or a letter back by contacting us as well. So all the contact information is about halfway down on the homepage, and of course the homepage is free. You don't have to reveal your name. It's just information, and what you do with it is a personal decision.
to have that assurance, accurate knowledge is essential. Thank you so much, Robert, for your insights and time being on the show. Maraming salamat for your time. We end the show with special shout out to the Anaceto family in Phoenix, Arizona. Arnold and Zarina, I hope you're practicing your dances. See you in April. And for the rest of us, be sure to tune in next time for another informative episode of Ano Na Bev, Best Express Views on PHLV Radio. And everybody, subscribe na! Thank you for joining us. See you again, Robert.
Thank you.
I'm a professional singer. That's how I support myself and my family. I'm a careful driver. The other car hit me. I ended up picking Richard Harris. Richard Harris is already an institution in Nevada. Dahil kay Richard Harris, tanggal ang worries.
I slipped. I hurt my tailbone. They sent me the bill. Si Richard Harris, siya lang ang tumanggap ng kaso ko. Tutulungan ka niya. Kay Richard Harris, tanggal ang worries.
The Richard Harris Law Firm, just in case.
Sabi ng patients ko, they don't need a colonoscopy because they don't feel anything. But colon cancer is a silent killer. It affects both men and women, mayaman man o mahirap. Have your colon checked.
Mobile Home Health, providing care in the comfort of your own home.
Serving Southern Nevada is our top priority.
And it's our greatest joy to help others stay safe and enjoy a better quality of life at home.
Because health is wealth.
There are children who've never had the experience of being a child. Bamboo Sunrise Foster Care serves underprivileged children.
We are known for exceptional standard in delivering excellent services.
You can be a parent, make an impact on a child's life.
Finding the right dentist could sometimes be a challenge, but Dental Care of Las Vegas is a one-stop shop for oral hygiene.
We treat our patients as family.
Affordable financial arrangements are accepted. Call today, Dental Care of Las Vegas.
We at Dental Care of Las Vegas are very committed to give you the best smile, Southern Nevada. We treat our patients as family. In our practice, we are really committed to give the best dental care.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.